Hi guys. Today we're going to be working on our Joseph Albers inspired square design using Google Draw. So for this, you're going to need your Google Draw open, and then we are going to be working on a design together inspired by him. We are going to be layering colors inside of colors, and the whole objective is to try to see if we can get our colors to look a little bit different based on their surroundings. So if we surround one color with tones that are similar to it versus tones that are very different, is there going to be a visual difference? And that's really what Joseph Albers was trying to do. So that's what we're going to try to do in this video. So let's get over to our work and we're going to go to insert, shape, and we're going to pick a shape. Now I'm going to be picking squares just like Joseph Albers. If you want to pick something really different, you want it with hearts or circles or triangles or arrows or any other number of fun things, feel free to do that. So I'm again going to insert, shapes, and I'm going to select my square. I'm going to start here in the corner and I'm going to drag it out until I get what looks to me to be a good size square shape. And once I have that nice square shape, I am going to copy and paste it. I don't want to have to try to redraw it a million times. I just want to repeat it so it just saves me some work. We're going to do 3 across on top, 3 underneath, so a total of 6 squares. And I'm going to try to get them so they're touching each other and filling the space pretty good. Okay. Again, if you're using circles or something else, you're just going to get them as close as you can because they don't have edges to line up perfectly. So there's 2 ways to copy and paste. One is the long way, pressing edit and then copy and then edit and paste and repeating that process until you get all the ones you want. Or in my case, the easier way is to press the control button on your computer. It usually is in the far left corner and it says CTRL. So pressing the control and then C for copy, and then pressing control V as in victory for pasting. I don't know why it's not P for paste, but it's a V. So I'm going to do that a few times. I'm going to spread my squares out now and try to line them up and fill my page up. And if you're a little bit off, you can always readjust. Like I seem to be a little bit off. So I'm going to have to just readjust my squares a little bit by shrinking them just a touch to make sure that they all are going to fit. So if you have an issue like that where they're just not quite lined up perfectly, then that's something you can do. And again, if you have a little gap, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Another thing to be looking for is if you want them to be perfect, look for these red bars that are going across the page. That lets you know that something is centered. So doing something like that is a great way of sort of testing, making sure that you are in the right spot and that everything is centered. So look for those red bars if that's something that you're trying to do. If you're trying to center things, that is a great way to see how you're doing. All right, so now I'm finally got my squares situated, so everything is lined up really nicely. And I'm ready to do my next step, which is to change the colors. So I don't want them to all be the same color. That's very boring. So we're going to try and make them different. Now, when nothing is selected, you don't see an option for changing colors. But as soon as I select one, a lot of options pop up on how I can change colors. So right here is the fill color. I'm going to click that. And you can see I have tons of options here of different colors I could choose to fill the color with. So I'm going to choose whatever colors I want to start filling these different background shades with. And I can choose from the stock colors that are here, or I can make custom colors. Now down here, I already have some pre-made ones. You're just going to press the plus symbol and up comes this beautiful hue range here. So you can go anywhere you want. Select anywhere that you want inside of that big box of colors and then press OK when you're happy with it. And there it is. And now it's in my bank of custom colors. If you run out, it's going to replace the oldest one. So you can keep going back and reusing them. So again, I'm going back in here and I'm just going to keep adding some new colors to my backgrounds until I am satisfied with everything that I have. All right, I have 6 totally different colors. Now I'm ready to go in with my next layer of squares. Whatever shape you picked, you're going to go back to insert, shapes, and repick that same shape. In my case, it's a square, so I'm picking the square again, and I'm going to drag and fill it up, making sure I leave a border. Now you can either leave it so that's right in the center. Remember using those red T-square bars so you can see exactly where the center is, and that way it's perfectly in the center. Or you can do what Josef Albers did and what I'm going to do, which is draw it a little bit off center. He like dropped it just a touch. So again, I don't want to try to redraw this 6 times, so I'm going to copy, paste until I have 6 squares, and I'm going to move them all in place. Once they've all been moved in place, that is when I'm going to change the colors. So I'm going to make sure everything is exactly where I want it to be first, and then I'll play with the colors. At this point, I would encourage you to start thinking about reusing some colors and think about what colors you think are going to make the other color look brighter and what colors are going to make something look darker, so that you can try to do a little optical illusion work here. So I am going to start playing with some colors and trying to pick a color that I'm going to repeat in another section that I can see what's going to happen to it when it changes. When it's next to a new color. So I'm going to make sure that I'm being very aware of what colors I'm putting down and where I'm putting them so that they will create some cool optical illusions, hopefully, in terms of the way they look. I'm not going to sit and talk you through every step of this at this point. It's literally just repeating the same thing, changing all these colors. We're going to go back and do more squares, copy, paste them, do more colors. Then again, go back in, do more squares, copy, paste, do more colors. I would highly suggest you get at least 4 layers. If you can do more than 4 layers and you want to do more than 4 layers, great. If you want to do just the 4, or if you can't quite fit 4 because you picked a weird shape and it just isn't quite big enough, first of all, I'd maybe make it bigger then, or just move things around. But if you can't, then 3 is fine too. All right, let's zoom through this so we can get this done. Then we'll revisit the end and talk about the color choices. All right, here we are at the end of our square design. So we have all of the Josef Albers inspired squares here. I think that I was successful in getting at least a few of the colors to really look different based on their surroundings. This lime green, I think, is my most successful result. When it's surrounded by that really bright red, I think that makes the green really, really bright and vibrant versus the green that's surrounded by other shades of green and teal. I think it looks a lot more muted. So I think it definitely created some contrast there. Same with my pinks versus the pinks surrounded by blue versus the ones surrounded by purples. Yellows are the same way as well. So I definitely think that I was able to achieve some of those optical illusion differences of color. And I hope you guys were able to do some of that yourself as well. I hope you had fun. I can't wait to see some of the color choices and some of the pattern choices that you chose. And feel free to experiment more. Try some different shapes, different colors, different tones, and see what other illusions you can create. Have fun.